doing it.
I also forgot.
Whoops.
Okay. That's totally fine.
I thought about it, but I didn't land on anything.
Okay.
Asking in character would be a little difficult.
No, that's... Well, okay, it's basically like the questions are in character, so it's like if your character could ask any other character anything and get an honest answer, what would they ask? But like we're not actually going to do that, obviously. I just want to know what the questions are, because I'm curious.
The things I'm most curious about are things I don't know about in character.
Okay.
That's not entirely true. Because Ophelia did mention pirates.
She's mentioned a couple of, sort
A
of...
couple of worrying...
Everybody just like stay off my fucking backstory, alright?
Exciting,
Let's just leave it.
details.
It's not important. It doesn't matter.
And well, Antoni's keeping some stuff from you too that you sort of know about, but
Yeah.
like
Let's
why
talk about-
she dropped out of school.
Yeah. Antimony, why did you drop out?
Am I supposed to answer this now?
Nope. No, I don't want you guys to answer. I just want to know the questions.
Okay.
If you want to ask each other that in character, it's perfectly fine also, but you'll have to deal with potentially not getting honest answers.
For that to happen.
You would, yes. You can ask anything you want at any time, as long as your character knows about it. So you cannot, for example, ask Antimony about the letter she got.
I know. That's the struggle.
Okay. Julie, are you recording or do you need time to set things up? Or?
No, I'm good. It's recording.
Okay, great. All right, so last time on CSI Blumenthal, you went to, Atakora got a job through his friend and coworker, Honolora. She told him about some local children in Blumenthal who have been going missing for about a month. He then agreed to work as a sort of field agent for the Cobalt Soul, and then suggested this mission. And everybody else agreed to go along with him. Antimony, meanwhile, got a letter from a former professor of hers at the Soltris Academy, so she went to talk to her, but did not ultimately agree to take a siege weapon internship. So yeah, you guys all headed out for Blumenthal. It was nighttime by the time you got there, but you went to an inn, you had some delicious dinner, and you talked to a young man who was working at the inn named Conrad, whose sister was one of the children who went missing, and he told you a little bit about what he knows. And he said that in the morning he could meet you all and take you to meet his family. So, I think you all just went to bed. So we'll just have you wake up in the morning and do whatever you would like.
I didn't test my dice today, so we're in no man's land.
All right. I've never once tested my dice. I pick out the ones I'm feeling, and then I put them, I banish them if they roll too badly for too long, and I get out new ones.
I'm just a little superstitious. But today I didn't test them, so we get what we get. But I do have my new dice, and they're super pretty. That was important. All to know.
What's on the menu for today's breakfast down at the downstairs.
The weary
Yeah,
traveler.
how many hot waiters are there?
Yeah. Is there a new one?
There is there's a different staff working there. The innkeeper's still there. He like owns the place, so he's kind of hanging out. And yeah, he has there's a different like server. This one is a young woman. She looks younger than Conrad. She's maybe like 18. She has black hair in like these 2 braids, and she has kind of like light brown skin. She's human. Yeah, she's just giving people breakfast. And yeah, you can get, I don't know, there's little sausages, there's lots of potatoes. That's the main thing right now, is sausages and potatoes.
Hell yeah.
There's,
Little sausages.
yep. Oh, there's like little bread rolls too, and butter.
I'll eat
I'm
like
just trying to
16
think
bread
about-
rolls.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of things I ate for breakfast when I went to Germany, and like mostly it was like little bread rolls and Nutella, but that's because I was 12, so I just wanted to eat bread and Nutella. But everybody had Nutella all the time. It was incredible. Every like hotel we went to. But yeah, and you see Conrad is in the corner eating his breakfast. So yeah, he's not working this morning, but he gets like free food at the inn for all his meals, apparently.
Did we say we were gonna meet in the morning? With
I
Conrad?
think so. I think he's... Yeah, because you
Yeah.
asked if he would be here tomorrow, and he said he was working tomorrow evening, but that he sleeps here. So he would also be here in the morning to have his breakfast, and then he can just do whatever he wants until he has to work.
Yes.
If we like lock eyes, does he look like welcoming? Does he look like sit here, or does he look like fuck off and let me eat my breakfast?
Okay, so you try to get his attention a little bit, or you like stare at him until he looks in your direction.
I like look every so often. Is anybody else
Okay.
down here?
There's a couple
I'm-
of people. The breakfast crowd is not large.
Okay.
It's like a few Crowns Guard, because they probably have like, different shifts and things. I think people who work on farms don't necessarily have like specific times that they have to work. They just do things when they need to do them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few like off-duty Crowns Guard in here, mostly. 1 or 2 people you're not really sure what they do, but they're just hanging around.
I'll like sit down somewhere, I guess, that's relatively nearby, and like if we do look at each other, then I'll see what's up.
Okay.
I just yeah.
Yeah, he notices you guys. He waves at you. His mouth is full of potatoes. So he doesn't like make a facial expression. He just kind of waves his hand.
Okay, then I'll just like chill.
I am not looking at him beyond, like, making sure that he's there.
Okay.
Just fuck off.
Okay, so you guys aren't going over to talk to him. You're just sitting somewhere else.
I'm eating breakfast.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're gonna talk to him. We're not dilly-dallying. I don't feel the need to interrupt his breakfast. Or my-
Okay.
Oh, I think
yeah.
I think the night before I would have called Hannelore and just told her that we'd arrived. But there's not really anything else to say, so I imagine it
Yeah.
would have been a long conversation.
Okay. Cool.
I mean,
Don't
I could
say-
have said met your brother, but I didn't.
you do not
I
tell
just
her
said
that?
we arrived.
That's good. That's good to know. Yeah, I would have been curious if you had told her that or not.
I'm gonna steal Adikora's bread roll.
Okay. Are you gonna
I'm
try
gonna
to like?
try to stop her from stealing my bread roll.
Okay, well then you better roll a sleight of hand check, Ophelia.
All right, let's go. My sleight of hand 11.
Let's see, I know Adacor's passive isn't very good.
I'm
but
pretty sure it's higher.
it is an 11, so you do notice her trying to steal your bread roll.
Okay, I want to try to stop her.
You can just do that, I think.
Okay.
You can just like grab her hand as
You
she
grab her hand.
reaches
I'll
out
never
or
do
whatever.
I have 2 hands. I'm gonna reach for it again.
Do you have any more left on your plate?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna take her bread rolls.
Wow.
Plural?
Just
I took a single bread roll. Get your fucking
I'm
hands
gonna
off
take
my
as many
bread
as I can
rolls.
grab.
What the fuck?
Alright. Now you guys are just fighting over each other's food, I guess.
I'll be satisfied if I have like one of his. And if I want more, I guess I'll just ask for them
Yeah.
from the server.
It sounds chaotic enough. You can get a hold of the one on Adakora's plate, and he will just take a couple off of your plate. And now you are both satisfied, I guess.
I'm not satisfied, but like, man,
Okay.
I don't even want them. I just wanted to grab them. I'm still thinking about the juggling TikTok.
Oh no.
That was so good. I loved it.
This was only going to end one way.
Yep. Oh god.
Can you like actually give those back though? Can I have them back?
I make like a throwing motion, like we're playing catch.
You're literally right next to me.
Are you not gonna catch up?
I'll fucking try if you do, but I'll be like, stop, don't, just fucking pass them. What the
I toss them. It's a soft toss, though. It should be easy.
a soft toss for a soft roll.
I guess.
I'm fucking hanging up. Nobody appreciates my humor. What the fuck?
No, I'm thinking about the likelihood that we'll eat some hard bread and I'll have to baseball pitch it at you.
I don't want to be baseball pitched at. I want to be handed the roll.
I toss the rolls.
I'll catch them. Antimony, do you want to? Do you want one of these? I'm sure you have your own.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Oh
This
hell.
is like good for Adakora. He looks a lot more cheerful now.
Okay.
What, you weren't looking cheerful before?
I was just looking kind of like I just woke up.
Oh, I
'Cause
see.
Maybe I stayed up real late. You don't know.
It's impossible for you to stay up late. You like trance for 4 hours. Did you stay up for like 13 hours?
Are you asking me in character?
Yeah. Don't you like get a full
I don't
night's
always
rest?
take my 4 hours starting at 10 p.m.
But you still get 4, right?
Yeah.
I guess I see where you could be coming from. I finished breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, you see Conrad has taken his... He's finished eating before you guys did, so he just kind of took his plates back over to the counter. And he's chatting with the halfling innkeeper, Wilhelm. And he's just... Looks like he's just kind of waiting for you guys to finish.
All right, then we'll finish up. I assume. Does anybody else anything to do?
Unless you just want to keep fighting over your.
No,
No.
That's fine too.
it's out of my system.
All right.
It's never out of your system. We're gonna like be walking down the path and you're gonna fucking like pull on my hair or something because you like being annoying.
How dare you?
It's not wrong, is it?
I'm a professional,
Uh-huh.
and I'm at work. And I take my job very seriously.
You were at work in Hupperdook too. Excuse me?
You were at work in Hupperdook. I was just along for the ride.
No, I think that was both you and me. I think that was our job.
It was your job, and
It
you
was
took-
our job. Did
you
you
wanted your personal librarian to go to Hupperdook with you. But now
No, I
I'm not a
didn't.
librarian. Now I'm a field agent.
You're my personal librarian?
Not anymore. I'm a field agent.
Well, that's a shame.
You guys
Isn't
are up at the
it just-
counter at this point, and Conrad's just kind of watching the two of you, like
I shut
his
up.
eyes are like going back and forth.
Hey,
So where to?
I mean, I can take you pretty much wherever you want to go first. You can go talk to my parents, any of the other families. I guess there's the Watchmaster. But that's not very far, you know, he's just in the Crown's Guard headquarters right over there across the square.
yeah, I suppose we have multiple places to go to. I was kind of just thinking it would be like the parents and then we go find the kids or something, but like it makes sense to gather more information.
Well, there's 4 sets of parents.
Yeah,
It's true.
I was just thinking of the most recent one, but the
Let's
more
start
information.
with your family and go from there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he waves to the other staff in the inn and just kind of walks out. It's a nice morning. It's sunny. It's chilly though, because it's like November. But yeah, the sky is very blue. He just kind of whistles to himself. It's not very in tune.
What can we see of the woods from here, if anything? Mostly just fields in view right now.
Yeah, not much. You can see like it's pretty flat out here. So you can see like all the way to the mountains basically. And kind of where the foothills are, and those are, you know, covered in trees. Like the lower part of the mountains is very heavily forested. But yeah, up until that point, it's really just fields. You're gonna, the more you walk, you probably pass some like orchards and things, and like the odd tree, you know, just hanging out
Mm-hmm.
next to somebody's house or whatever, but not much in the way of what you could call forest out here.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably gonna have to walk, you know, a few miles
Yeah.
to get all the way to the real forest. And that's the direction he's heading in. Conrad is basically just, he's walking down it's like a very wide, like well-kept dirt road, I think. And it is heading directly towards the mountains.
Okay. Is there anything we want to ask him while we're walking? I should have prepped more, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I had homework, so
Yeah, this week was. I was doing too many things this week to come up with questions, but. So we're just gonna wing it today.
I will go over the information we know already, with just review. Reviewing your homework's always good. So
Like out loud with everyone kind of thing, or in your mind?
yeah, out loud.
Okay.
So Carl was the first boy. He's 12 years old. Went missing 5 weeks ago. Mechtilde was 10 years old. 4 to 5 days after Carl. Max, 9 years old. Went missing 2 weeks ago. And Johanna, 11, 5 days ago.
Yeah, Conrad nods.
What?
Max had
What effort, if any, has been made on, I don't know, the Crown's Guard's part? On the town's part?
Are you asking him that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He told us before. Sorry, go ahead. I could review. He told us before, but it wasn't much. When Carl went missing, the Crown's Guard were the ones who went into the forest, and they reported back that they found footprints into the deep woods, but that's all they found.
It wasn't a few people from town went with. I think Carl's father went with them. But they didn't have a lot of time to look. Or he didn't. He had things to do.
It was basically just like really busy because of the harvest and whatnot.
Right. It was the last couple of weeks. So everyone was running around. Everybody was in a lot of different places. I think his parents thought that Carl had gone to a different farm to help someone else with something, and that's why they weren't looking for him. Or that was what he said the last time they saw him. That's what I remember anyway. But it wasn't till it was almost dark that they realized he'd gone missing. They just assumed he was somewhere doing things. So.
And that's
They couldn't do a
only-
lot of searching that night. It was
yeah.
very dark. And the Crown's Guard don't actually, harvest things, but they take everything back to the capital. So their numbers were a little bit reduced. They'd been going back and forth a lot.
What times do you know did the other children well, I guess we don't know when they actually disappeared. We just know when they realized.
Mm-hmm.
What has it been fairly uniform? Has it been a specific day of the week that each child has gone missing, or is it just generally a week apart?
Yeah, there wasn't any particular pattern.
Mhm.
Roughly a week apart, I suppose.
And this will be the 6th day since Johanna went missing?
Yes.
If the pattern continues, there'll probably be another missing child soon.
I hope not.
how bothered does he? I mean, I assume, but how bothered does he look with that idea?
Of another child disappearing. He looks pretty bothered. I think it, like, almost like it didn't occur to him that this could be some kind of, like, once a week a child goes missing sort of thing. I think he had sort of been thinking of it as like, oh, any kid who goes anywhere near the forest goes missing. So like now all the parents are just not allowing their children there, so they won't go. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of his train of thought. Like at this point, everyone in town is like, nobody goes near the forest.
Right.
Classic fantasy.
Right. Which is like not practical either, because people do go in the forest to get things. I think probably maybe adults are still doing that to an extent, but like everyone's being like very sort of protective over their kids
Mm-hmm.
and being like, you are not going to go anywhere near the fucking woods. Absolutely not. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Aracora gives Ophelia a look like I would not have said that out loud. And like very quickly is like, and all the adults in town are accounted for where they should be.
oh yes. Yes, and I don't think nobody said anything about the children behaving strangely or anything like that. And the other three, we know when they went in and what they were doing, sort of.
And no mysterious strangers came to town, discounting ourselves.
No, I mean, we don't get a lot of travelers, mostly just people passing through on their way to somewhere else. We don't really, the people here don't sell their products from the town. It all gets taken up to the capital.
Do you know if the children who went missing, do you know if they, I assume they must, but were they like in a similar friend group? Did they know each other very well, or were they more like maybe school-ish acquaintances? I don't know how school works.
Oh god, I don't either. God, how does school work?
Do they even go to school in Blumenthal?
I mean, they must, because Caleb knew, unless his parents taught him how to read and write, which I guess is possible.
They're
but
all homeschooled.
he,
Yeah.
like, knew enough to start going to college at age 15. So, like, he could obviously read and write.
I'm just thinking of like old history, like there's a single room and that's the schoolhouse, and there's like chalkboard and stuff, one teacher.
It might be something like that. Yeah, I have not thought about that, unfortunately. Nobody's in school right now, I think, because they
Right.
have, like,
The
a
Harvesting.
Yeah.
harvest break. Yeah, the school is, like, schooling is pretty seasonal. Probably here in Blumenthal.
Mm-hmm.
They probably have their own schooling schedule, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't necessarily match what people do in cities.
Hmm.
I don't know, I'll have to think about that. I mean, most people around here know each other. I don't think they were close friends necessarily, but the families knew each other. My sister was close friends with Carl's younger sister.
Johanna was friends with Carl's younger sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they were always going back and forth between our houses, but Carl had different friends.
Right. And what are all of these families generally farmers?
All the families from children who went missing, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a kid from town. There was a child with Max when he went into the forest. His dog ran in, and Max went after him, and his friend didn't follow.
Mhm.
His mother runs the general store in town, so he doesn't necessarily go near the woods all the time, which is maybe why he didn't follow Max. I don't know.
What's his name?
Hans.
Note of that.
Is that a Frozen
Yeah,
reference? Okay. I was like, what?
he's evil. He's the villain.
What are the Southern Isles supposed to be
I don't know.
in fake
Denmark,
Scandinavia?
maybe? I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe Denmark. England? I don't know.
Well, his
Maybe.
name's Hans.
Yeah, that's
So-
true.
so
He's probably Danish.
Denmark.
God, there's a Kristoff in this story too. There's a Kristoff NPC.
Are these Matt names?
No,
Or-
they're just German names that I knew. I mean, I went on behind the name a lot, but
Sure. I was,
just a lot of German names.
but you weren't thinking of Frozen.
I absolutely was not thinking of Frozen. No, Kristoff is a name that I like a lot. I have a great uncle named Kristoff. Hans, I thought of like on this. I was just like, I need a name quick. Like
We're
I came up with that one like 10 minutes ago.
We're just playing through Frozen.
This is gonna turn into Frozen, yeah. Like, we're gonna go up to fucking, I don't know, Eiselcross, and Elsa's gonna be there,
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
hanging out in the ruins of Aor.
I think that's generally all the questions that I have at the moment.
Okay.
I think we should probably talk to this Hans child if his mom is willing to let us talk to him.
The Hans child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you go back into town,
We'll hit up Hans. We'll hit
sleep
up
or whatever, yeah, just go to the store. There's like one store.
Yeah.
That's not also a workshop.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you keep walking. There's people out just kind of doing outdoor chores, taking care of animals. You see a couple of, mostly in the distance, you see these like wooden towers that you know are Crownsguard watchtowers. They probably have like, I don't know if the Crownsguard has their own symbol. They must. Probably has like a banner with like the symbol of the Crownsguard on it. Just as like, you know, a signal to anyone who might come in and try to fuck around that like there are armed
Mhm.
people here watching you.
Right.
And yeah, you can. They look like the ones you pass by close enough. They usually have like 2 people in them, just kind of watching.
I make eye contact with the towers to assert dominance.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so it's a little while. It's like an hour and a half. I don't know how long. I don't know about how long it takes to walk places. But yeah, eventually you walk for a while until you get to an area that's much closer to the mountains. You can kind of see the start of the forest here. But basically, Conrad leads you into kind of, it's like almost a tiny little hamlet. There's just sort of a cluster of farmhouses and buildings that are all kind of near each other. And then like the fields are out around them. And then you can kind of see the boundary basically of, there's probably like a fairly low fence on the boundary, and then some just sort of grass and scrub, and then the forest kind of starts. And then a little ways off along the fence is a watchtower that's sort of right between these section of farms and the forest. Well, we're here pretty much. And he will lead all of you. God, I'm trying to talk to this list of people. Okay, I need to close one of these tabs. All right, yeah. So he takes you to one of the houses. It's, it's not anything very fancy. It's a little bit sprawling. It's one floor. It looks like an extra room got kind of tacked on to one side at some point. There's a stable. There's some chickens around. You see a couple of children kind of in the distance in the back. There's like a little kitchen garden too, but it's mostly bare at this point. And he knocks on the door. And the person who opens the door is a woman in her early 50s. Adakora, you are struck by how much she looks like Hannelore, like an older version of Hannelore. They have similar kind of round faces. They're about the same height. They both have blonde hair, lots of freckles, the same sort of like, I don't know, nose and eyes. And she looks up at Conrad. So you stopped by. What's going on? And then she looks back at the three of you and is a little confused looking. Okay, did you... Who are these? And Conrad says, yeah, this is my mother.
Charmed.
This is, well, did you guys tell him your names? I feel like you did, but I actually can't recall.
Yes, I think
Okay. I was like, please tell me you told him your names.
Wait,
It sounds
yes.
awkward.
In my head, I remember introducing us all by name.
That probably happened. I just don't remember. I was like, he better know. Yeah, so he points you out. This is Adakora, Ophelia, and Antimony. They're from the Cobalt Soul. The woman kind of raises her eyebrows. They, well, I guess the Cobalt Soul sent them here to find out what's happened to Johanna and the other children. And I ran into them at the inn, and they were talking about it, so I told them mostly what I know, and I said that they could come talk to you and whoever else is here. He kind of looks into the house a little bit, like he's trying to see who's in there. The woman looks a little taken aback. Definitely, she kind of sizes each of you up. The Cobalt Soul.
I'm definitely in Cobalt Soul robes, the travel robes that they gave me.
Uh-huh.
So it should be somewhat easily identifiable.
Yeah. And I figured Ophelia was too.
I think
Okay.
I have my little Cobalt Soul badge
Yeah.
thing or whatever it is.
Yeah, yep, you have a very official looking badge.
But I still like straighten up a little bit and he's looking us over.
Yeah, she looks at all of you. Oh, that's well, I suppose why don't you come in? And she
Thank you very much.
Side and everyone comes in. And the front area is sort of like a kitchen, dining room, living area. There are a couple of doors that lead off it. Like, it doesn't look like they all, sleep in the same room or anything. But there's this one room is kind of like the center of the house and has most of the things. There's like maybe one or two other people in here, but most, if there are other people like in the family that are home, they're mostly outside as far as you can tell. You see, let's see, I gave Honolulu too many family members. This is stupid. You see a girl in her late teens sitting in one corner. She's like spinning some wool. And she looks up at all of you with a confused expression on her face. She has, like, kind of a family resemblance to the others as well, but she's a little bit shorter and she has kind of darker hair. And yeah, that's the only other person who's in the room, we'll say. But yeah, the woman, Honolulu's mother, sort of gestures at the table. There's like a kitchen table with a lot of mismatched chairs. Why don't you sit down?
Thank you very
You
much.
You
Pull
too,
out.
Conrad. He already sits. Yeah, he sits down. Are you? It's cold out. Do you want, I don't know, tea or anything?
That would be very kind of you. I'm like looking at Ophelia and Tim like for yourselves, but
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't want to impose any more than necessary, but
No, that's fine. I'm a bit surprised that the Cobalt Soul is taking an interest in this. I didn't know that they... Well, I don't really know much about them, I suppose. I've never met someone from the Cobalt Soul. This is the sort of thing you do, investigating local mysteries.
investigating, we do a lot of. We could stand to do a little more local work.
She nods. She's like kind of moving around getting stuff. She gets out some cups. She gets out like a kettle that goes over the fire. I think she probably just has herbal tea that's like made out of stuff that you can grow here. But yeah, she's busy doing that.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Anya Meisner.
It's nice to meet you, Anya.
I'm Conrad's mother. I'm sure you guessed that.
Yes, he thought you might be able to answer some questions about your daughter's disappearance.
Well, you can certainly ask me. I don't know if I'll be able to tell you anything that Conrad hasn't, but if you're really going to look for her, then I would be happy to help. He already told you her name. Are you all from the capital?
Recently, we all are. And Timony and I grew up in Druvenlode, so just on the other side of the mountains.
Oh, yes.
Partly grew up in Druvenlode. That's not a...
It doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to tell you my whole life story.
I'm
Timothy is
sorry.
kind of like, okay.
I gotta tell you guys, my palms are sweating.
Yeah, she sits down and pours hot water for everyone. Just like over the tea. I don't know. How do you make loose leaf tea? You just have to have a thing. I guess people probably used to just put the stuff in there and not have like a tea strainer or whatever.
I'm not sure when tea strainers or that kind of thing were invented.
I don't know either.
I
I feel like
can't imagine people in like pseudo
right.
times really wanted leafy bits in their clothes.
Probably
Maybe they
not,
did.
but
Maybe they did.
they didn't have tea bags, and like not everybody can afford a lot of tea strainer. I don't know.
When were
That's like
tea strainers invented?
a specialized item.
History of the tea strainer.
Maybe she like puts it in a teapot and like steeps it in there, and she has one. I was like, she doesn't have tea strainers for everybody. Okay, it's steeping. Sorry, this is very silly. But yeah, she is sort of letting it steep. She sits down at the table, and she's kind of her hands are kind of her fingers like moving around each other and stuff. Like she's kind of fidgeting, like she's nervous.
Can you start by describing what happened on that day?
Yes, of course. Well, it was a very ordinary day, I suppose. I was in town with my husband and a few of our children. We were bringing some of some of the last of the harvest uh, just out to the storehouses there, so they could be taken to the capital. Um, well, Johanna, she and one of her brothers had set some traps in the forest, not very deep in, um, just sort of on the edge to trap rabbits and things. Most people here do it just to have a little bit of extra food for the winter. And well, they told her not to go in by herself because of everything that had happened. But I don't know. Kristoff was supposed to go with her or go by himself. He's a little older. He's 17. I figured if they were together, it would probably be fine. He would be able to keep her from wandering away. She likes exploring in there. Normally, it would be fine, but anyway, I don't know. Kristoff went to talk to a friend, and she apparently went by herself.
This was all while you were in town?
Yes. When I came back, she was gone. Kristoff said she'd probably just gone to check the snares, and he went after her right away as soon as he got home. I was very angry with him. And he found a rabbit in one of the traps, but no sign of Johanna. Or no, I think he found a rabbit that had been taken out of one of the traps, and it had just been left on the ground a little ways in the forest. Like she took it out and then dropped it for some reason. A few of us went in to look for her. A couple of the neighbors helped, but I don't know. It had probably been hours at that point. They found some of her footprints, but they stopped eventually. The forest gets very dense after a certain point.
Would Johanna have been wearing anything special or distinctive?
Probably. Yes, she had a necklace. It was a gift from one of my older children. One of my daughters lives in Rexentrum, and she did very well for herself there. She has a good job, and sometimes she sends presents and things. She sent Johanna a necklace. It's a chain with a little pendant on it. It's sort of a circle, and it has a tree engraved into it. And I'm sure she was wearing it. It's not in her room.
What was it made of?
Silver, I think. Do you have could that help you find her, do you think?
It might. Any other distinctive details might help.
Just what she looks like, you mean, or?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she just describes Johanna, 11 years old, blonde hair, freckles, average height for, I don't know what the average height for an 11-year-old is.
For an
but
11-year-old.
Yeah. She was probably wearing a scarf, a red one, a knitted wool scarf. One of her sister-in-law made it for her.
Was it very long?
Not very long, not so long that it would, you know, be inconvenient.
Can you think of anyone else she might have talked to between you leaving her and Kristoff at the house and going to check the traps?
I doubt it. I don't think anyone was here. Most of us were in town. I think my daughter-in-law was visiting her parents with her daughter, my granddaughter. Conrad, you were at work, right? He nods. Adelheid, you weren't here, were you? She talks to the girl at the spinning wheel, who you kind of forgot was there. She's just been totally quiet this whole time. Like, she stopped spinning. She's just been watching this. And she says, no, I was visiting someone.
Does that seem truthful?
Sure, roll an insight check.
Okay. Not bad. 17?
Yeah, it seems like she's telling the truth. Says, yeah, I was helping. So she says a name. I'm not going to think of a name. So and so, like, dye some wool.
Is Kristoff around?
I think he's outside. He's supposed to be watching his niece. So they're probably out in the back. I can go see if they're there if you want.
Sorry, I'm still looking at the spider. Just waiting for him to make a move.
Oh no. Oh,
He's
that's the
really
worst.
close.
When you're like, are they gonna go anywhere?
He doesn't look like a scary spider. He's just hanging out. And he's real close.
Once I
All
can see
spiders
them,
are scary.
I get nervous when I can't see them anymore.
He's just a little gray spider.
Creepy.
He's so light. I thought, like, did I draw a spider there?
Oh my god. The real spider.
But I say, yeah, it might be helpful to talk to him, fill in any of the details.
Sure, I'll go see where he is. She gets up and leaves the little house. The girl at the spinning wheel, Adelheid, comes over and pours herself some tea. So, the Cobalt Soul really sent you here to find out what's going on.
Sure did.
How come they suddenly decided we're important?
Well, to be totally honest, I heard rumors and I decided.
You heard rumors in Rexentrum?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, I suppose there are enough people there who know people here. Things like that must get around. Too bad you didn't come here a month ago.
Yeah.
Conrad's kind of looks a little embarrassed. He's like, "Hey, come on, don't be rude." She rolls her eyes at him.
No, it's not rude. What do you two think about this? What do you think's behind it?
Adelheid thinks about it for a second. Well, there's got to be something in there. Someone or something is grabbing people who walk in, but only children. I don't know. Maybe there's a hag like everyone says. But it just seems... Why would that start happening now? I mean, there are stories about kids going missing in the woods, but I don't know anyone who actually knows someone that it happened to. I think it's just one of those stories that's supposed to scare children into behaving.
Well, what kind of stories?
Oh, you know, if you go into the woods by yourself, the Valdhexa is going to get you. Maybe she'll just eat part of your body. Maybe she'll just eat your hand or your eyes. Maybe she'll eat you all up. That sort of thing.
Right.
Can you think of anything unusual that happened before the disappearances?
No. It was the same old harvest. Everybody helping out as much as possible, and I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of wild animal or monster in there. Maybe it's some sort of creature from Xhorhas. Apparently, they've been getting them in the south. Just things from the wastes. Although we're a bit far north for that.
Nice.
It's a purple worm.
Oh, God.
Don't feel so bad about that spy now.
I still feel bad.
Well, someday when we get thrown into an Imperial prison, we can check on him.
Yeah, right.
He'll just be a pile of bones.
Oh, no. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh. Do you think Kristoff would be willing to show us where the things are?
The track? you mean?
Yeah, and where the rabbit was?
I mean, if Mother tells him to, he will. I think I know he still feels guilty about all this. I told him it's not really his fault, but I get it. I'd probably feel the same way if I was the one who was supposed to keep an eye on her. You hear the door opens again, and Anya comes in um, with a boy. He's about 17. He's also kind of tall and lanky, but he's a little shorter than Conrad, and like even lankier. Like he's went through like a weird teen growth spurt recently. He's got like some pimples. He's going through a rough a rough patch here
Yeah.
in puberty. He has kind of messy brown hair, and he's holding a small child, um, like a little girl who's about 3, and she has very like slightly elvish features, as if it's hard to tell, what like when her last elven ancestor was necessarily, but she has like a little elven blood.
Ah.
Yes, here's Kristoff. Um, Here, let me take Liesel, and she takes Anya takes the child, um, and Kristoff kind of shuffles awkwardly in towards the table. I want you to answer all of their questions, all right? Of course, says Kristoff, and he sits down.
Oh, the mom voice.
Yeah. he looks dejected. He like slumps a little bit in his chair and looks at all of you. Well, what do you want to know?
What happened after your parents left for town? Just walk me through it.
Okay. I was here. Or it was me and Johanna and Adelheid, and then Adelheid left. I don't know, do something. Um, and then Clara was here. That's my brother's wife. But then she left to go visit her parents, I think, and it was just me and Johanna. And I was going to take her out to check the traps. Then one of my friends came over and he wanted my help with something. It was, I don't know, it was stupid. I shouldn't have gone, but I told her to just wait for me to get back. I guess she didn't.
How long were you gone?
Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. Longer than I meant to be gone.
And when you came back, the house was empty.
Yet it was. I ran out to look for her. A couple of the traps still had rabbits in them. One of them, it looked like she'd taken it and then wandered off a little bit and dropped it somewhere.
Now, we don't want to shortchange your family a babysitter, but it might be helpful if we could borrow you for a minute to show us where the traps were.
Sure, they're still in most of the same places. He kind of looks up at his mother and she nods at him. Go, show them whatever you can remember. And he gets up and kind of slouches out the door.
I'll push back my chair and go to follow. But before I leave, I will thank Anya and Adelaide and Adelheid and
Sorry,
Conrad.
I had fun with the names.
My problem is I like write down how I guess it might be spelled, and then I just convert the pronunciation to whatever I wrote down, which is why I immediately went from Johanna to Joanna.
Yeah, he leads you outside through the yard, which is pretty bare at this point. There's some things lying around, but like the grass is kind of withered. The little garden, the kitchen garden is most of the plants are gone at this point. There's a tree out here with like a little swing on it. It's like 2 ropes and like a plank kind of swing. And yeah, he leads you out across one of the fields down like a little path to the fence, which it's like mostly just to mark the boundary. It's not like a difficult to get over fence. He can step right over it at his height. Adakora probably can too. Like you don't even have to climb at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the guard tower is like maybe 100 feet away at this point. And there are 2 people up there that you can see, but it's hard to make out any details about them.
Are the guards always on duty? I guess I ask Kristoff.
There's always someone up there, I think. Usually there's 2 of them. They rotate out though.
Right.
He takes you just around. There's like an area that's not super dense forest. It looks like this is sort of where people sometimes cut down trees for things that they need. There's some undergrowth, but there's also little paths that just look like they've been made by people walking there a lot. And he shows you his little like snare traps. They're all empty at this moment. He says, "Yeah, these are. I didn't really move them. This is the one that I found empty with the rabbit nearby." And he points a little ways farther in on what is like barely a path going a little bit deeper into the forest. And it's just like dirt, and there's some rocks in the middle of the path that you have to kind of climb up. It's like a slight incline. And he climbs up a little ways and says, "Right here on the top of this rock, that's where I found it."
If I look back the way we've come, is there anything in sight from here? Like the farmhouse is like is there any view from here to there, or is it blocked off by
Yeah, you can see the fence. I think it's like a ways to the farmhouse, and you can kind of see it, but it's kind of blocked by stuff. But you can definitely see like the fields. And yeah, it's within within like seeing distance of the farmhouse. If you were at the farmhouse, you probably would not be able to see a person standing here in the forest, but the other way around you can see the farmhouse.
So that is what my elf eyes see.
Yes. In fact it is.
Um, does the area like around these snares look at all disturbed?
Right now it not really. It kind of looks like well, okay, make a perception check.
Okay. Let's see. A middling perception check, a 13.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like fairly recently someone was walking around these traps.
Mhm.
But it's possible it was just Conrad, or not Conrad, Christoph, like setting them, and kind of looks like someone
Right.
walked near them and then sort of like moved the leaves and things back into place so that it wouldn't look as
Mhm.
disturbed. But yeah, it kind of looks like they were recently set.
Okay.
I didn't really go any further in. My father did. One of my brothers, one of my sisters, but they didn't find much. I think they saw some of what they thought was her footprints, but it stopped after a while. And it's not like any of us are, experienced trackers or anything like that.
They just found footprints, no signs of a fight having happened or wild animals or a struggle.
No, just footprints. It looked like some branches maybe moved aside a little bit, but not a large disturbance or anything. Nothing that she dropped except for the rabbit.
And the rabbit wasn't touched.
You mean like nothing ate it?
Yeah.
No, just flies.
Mhm.
Yeah, it didn't look like it had been dead for very long. Is there anything else you want to know, or
Anything else?
I can't think of anything at the moment.
I wouldn't expect there to still be a trail or anything because it's been almost.
yeah, it's been close to a week at this point. I mean, you can look if you want, but there's probably
I'll look
Gonna be
around just for
much.
the heck of it.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, don't want
Um,
to waste the trip.
Sure. Do you want to make like a survival check, like actually look for tracks, or do you want to look for things she might have left, or what?
Well, I have -1 to survival.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Ophelia, do you want to make a survival check?
Yeah, I was thinking earlier of trying to look for like red fibers that might have gotten stuck on like branches or something.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, yeah, why don't you make a survival check, Ophelia?
Can I pop my div whatever to give me proficiency on survival?
Yeah, probably.
thing.
I don't know.
Channel
how it works,
divinity. As an
Really. Oh,
action.
yeah. It can just give you proficiency in any skill or tool, right?
For 10 minutes. Woo!
Awesome.
Ioun's gonna make me smart, and it's +2, so that's +5 then.
Hell yeah.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you start looking at the branches alongside the path, where Kristoff said he found the rabbit, and you. Sorry, I'm just reading these messages. Liesl's like 3.
She's too young. The hag
Yeah.
doesn't want children that young.
She's the only child that hasn't gone missing so far that we've met.
There are definitely other
Well,
children. in this town.
That kid from the
Yeah, you-
general store.
You know at least one kid who still lives here who's like in roughly the age range.
I don't think we want to offer a real child
Yeah.
to the
No, I
hag.
want to offer a real chat. We're gonna do like the Pied Piper thing where we just follow the children and see what happens.
Oh God,
The hag's due for a meal. It's been almost a week.
Well, I think, for what it's worth, I think we definitely should have somebody keep an eye on all of the children of this age range
We should.
Yeah.
over the next
Yeah.
couple days.
Here's what we do. We hold like a vacation Bible school for all the children between 8 and 13.
like come learn about Ioun.
Yeah.
And then we just see what happens.
Cobalt Soul Summer School.
That's a lot of responsibility.
We just want them all in one place.
But we could maybe talk to the guards in the towers, and I'm sure they might be keeping an eye, but like maybe if they think it's a pattern or something, they'll keep an extra watch.
Okay, sorry, Ophelia, you see
Mhm.
some stuff actually.
I do.
You do a little bit. Yeah, so you walk a little ways farther down along that path, a little bit past where Kristoff is, and yeah, you do see stuck to a like thorny branch, very close to the edge of the path. You see a little bit of red yarn.
Is there like still more path to go down?
Yeah, I mean it's like calling it a path is generous. But
If I go
you can walk along it for a little ways at least.
right, and if I like do go sort of that way, do I see any other stuff? If I just like ditch the party and walk off on my own and
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, you can go a little ways. Is anybody gonna follow her?
Yeah, I guess I'll go.
Okay.
we're gonna go into the forest. I mean, it
Or
could
cast
disappear,
iron.
right?
What?
It could disappear. So we might as
Maybe.
well go now.
Yeah, so this is still kind of like the easily navigable part of the forest.
Right.
You can tell people come through here pretty often
Hmm.
because they have sort of carved out little paths just by walking, maybe by cutting down some trees in certain spots.
Hmm.
And the trees here are a little younger. Like, they look like this edge of the forest was probably, cut down a long time ago to build Blumenthal, basically.
Hmm.
And like the forest probably extended farther out back in the day. But yeah, if you keep going for a ways still, closer to like the deep forest. And
Is Kristoff coming with us?
if you all go, he'll follow you.
He's not a child, right?
He's 17.
Okay. He's
So
not in
he's-
danger.
He's not really in the range either.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Anything could happen, I suppose. Make me another survival check.
Okay. Has it been more than 10 minutes?
No.
Okay. Another 16.
Okay. Yeah, you find another little piece of thread, just like little woolly fibers.
I'm like pointing them out.
Conrad, sorry, I should not have named Conrad and Kristoff. Yikes. I did this to myself. Kristoff's eyes are like, get kind of wide at this.
Do you think we should keep going
I
or
don't know.
try? I guess
Once
we
you
can
get-
keep going.
Once you get into the forest, it's pretty dense. It takes a long time to get anywhere.
Hmm.
I mean, he just looks kind of scared at the prospect of you guys going farther in, but doesn't know what to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. We've single-handedly calmed down an entire town of kobolds. Once. So,
Like 15.
yeah. We dealt with them, so
Commune of kobolds.
yeah.
Extended family of kobolds.
Yeah. So we can handle stuff in general, I think, that comes through here.
Where did you meet kobolds?
Oh, around.
He's just kind of staring like, what?
Just like in places. I look at Adakora.
I'm watching this with great interest.
I'm just saying, like, if you want to head back and we can go see if we can find more traces. Do you know how far they went? Like, did they get this far? Your father or whoever?
I wasn't with them. I think they got a little farther.
Okay, then it's worth us at least going that far and looking, right?
Sure.
I'm
I don't
gonna
know how
go.
far they went exactly, but
Let's go.
I don't want to waste our chance to talk to the other families today, though.
Hmm.
What time is it? Like, generally.
11 a.m. we'll say.
What if we look for as long as my divinity lasts? And then we'll head back. We'll just, like, keep a note of it.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
You have maybe another 5 minutes.
Yeah. We'll just keep going ish.
Okay.
I tell Kristoff to tell the people back at the house that we are coming back. Back in 20 minutes.
He looks very freaked out. He's like, okay.
Listen, we're not 11-year-olds. We're gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay, please come back, because I don't want
Oh,
someone
poor
else
guy.
to disappear
Oh.
when I was supposed to be with them.
We're gonna go missing and they're gonna blame him.
No.
I'm like, Kristoff, you let those nice cobalt soul people go into the forest by themselves.
For a second, I heard
Kristoff.
Cobalt Soul.
Cobalt soul.
Cobalt soul. Oh no.
Oh god.
If you want to come with us, so you don't catch it for leaving us on our own, that's fine.
Okay, yeah. He nods. He's decided that's the better option.
Oh.
God.
But he stays in the back.
For some reason, I'm thinking like every time we interact with NPCs, I feel like the Taz, are we out of zone of truth? Everything is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Are we out of zone of truth? Can I say this right now? Yeah. Okay, yeah, you can keep going for another 5 minutes. You don't
All right.
quite make it to like the really thick forest, but you can see the trees are getting bigger and more closely spaced out here.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a little bit of a path that you can follow, but you can kind of tell that it's going to disappear at some point.
Right.
Make me another survival check.
Can I guidance myself?
Sure.
Okay. I
Unless
should have
you're-
done that the other times, but I forgot
Your
I had
thing isn't-
guidance.
Concentration or anything, right? You're
No.
within it. Okay, yeah, then you can catch it.
All right. Oh, nat 20.
Oh!
Ooh.
I'm not gonna roll for guidance because I figure.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you keep going. You find it's sort of buried. Like you see something near the ground that just like looks a little bit weird. You're not really sure what it is, but it doesn't look organic necessarily. So you bend down and you poke around under some leaves, and you find what looks like a shoelace. It's just like a long sort of leather string. It has like little. It has knots on the end and like little clay beads, kind of tied in. Or there's like a knot and then a bead and then another knot, so the beads don't like move along the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you pull it up. It's like caked in dirt and stuff. But it has these two little blue ceramic beads on either end of it. And
I like hold it up for the others.
Ooh.
that's hers. That's Johanna's.
Is there like a shoe nearby? I feel like it's
Um,
weird to find like a shoelace with no shoe.
No, you do not find a shoe.
Are there like any tracks, like steps, other than ours?
Maybe very faint at this point. Like other stuff has walked along here and things have fallen and but yeah, well, you can find like part of a footprint that
Head-
looks like
Mhm.
probably a human child wearing shoes.
I'll point that out too.
What would keep a kid walking into the woods after they lost a shoelace? Some kind of. This is me thinking out loud. There's got to be some kind
This
of.
isn't
magic
Atakora.
element to this, right?
Thinking out loud.
Yeah.
There's.
But
It
this is
sounds
me
like a
thinking.
charm.
Atakora isn't
Yeah.
saying this necessarily.
Yeah. It's something spooky,
Okay.
that's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely some kind of magic.
Yeah. I
I
can't
mean,
decide
she
if
dropped
it's.
the-
Oh,
Really good rabbit on the ground.
are you going robotic for anyone else,
Yeah.
Izzy?
You're cutting
Yeah,
out. a
you're
little bit.
really.
Yeah. Sorry, my voice is cutting out for a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, you sound fine now.
Yeah. It was just weird. What did you say before?
Oh, I forgot what I said before, but I was gonna say that, yeah, she dropped a really good rabbit on the ground, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking, oh god.
Something magical.
Yep.
Would I know, based on my knowledge of how my spells work, if I were to look for a second shoelace that was really, really similar to this, would my locate object work for that?
Let me read this spell.
Because otherwise I can also look for silver necklace, but I think that's less specific than shoelace like this.
Sure. Although I don't know how many silver necklaces he would find out in the middle of the woods.
Maybe you have some stashed away to like.
Maybe I do.
How many locate objects do you have today?
I have 2.
Never name an object that is familiar.
We could do one now.
A specific object known to you as though you've seen it up close. Okay, it's kind of vague, but I'm gonna say yes. You think that it could probably work. You've never tried it, but
Right. Azophelia, should I try to see if I can find the other one right now? And then we can go back if there's nothing.
Kristoff's like, wait, what?
I'm like ignoring him.
What are you gonna do?
Just gonna, look for the. I have it, like, I can find objects within a range.
Like, you mean with magic?
Yes?
He looks very impressed.
Oh. Yeah. Like, should we try it? The other thing I could do if we don't want to do it right now is I could take 11 minutes, cast augury, and ask my sticks if that would be a good idea.
I think we should just do it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay. I'm gonna cast locate object on twin of shoelace.
Okay. Okay, you do not sense anything within 1,000 feet.
Okay.
How big is this forest, though? How deep is it?
Are you asking Kristoff or me?
both.
The answer's gonna be the same. It's a lot of it's like the whole mountainside up until it gets too tall to like have forest on it.
Okay.
And you've kind of seen the other side of these mountains from Druvenlode, and it's probably similar over there, except like these lower parts of the mountains have been cleared a little bit more because people are like mining things around them. But you've seen like up higher into the mountains, and there's still like old growth forest up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not. It's a pretty small range. I mean, it's not inconsequential, but it's not the whole forest, and it's not around here.
Yeah, and the forest like extends a ways in either direction too, like not
Mhm.
just up, but it's just kind of like all down the mountain, like near Blumenthal, and probably farther down too, farther south. I'm looking at the map. I think it's in the maps channel.
As we like return, I'm gonna like speak aloud my thoughts. Were we like 1,000 feet into the forest, would you say?
Probably.
Okay. So I
Maybe
think
not
if yeah,
quite 1,000 feet, but close.
I guess before we leave to go back, I want to like scrape in the dirt or in like a tree or something, like an arrow in the direction we were going,
Okay.
so that we can like find it later.
Yeah, awesome.
And then maybe I'll do a couple of those just in the places where we found the other tufts of scarf. Did the path go generally straight, the tufts
Yeah,
were?
the part that you were on mostly did. It just kind of went straight in towards the forest.
Okay.
At least like that section of it did. Oh no!
Cute.
Oh my God. They're so cute. Yeah.
Sweet babies.
Beautiful.
Cats. I'm just gonna come take one of those kittens, Julie. I'm just gonna steal one.
They're making quite a racket.
Is that
Yeah.
them rattling around?
Yeah.
Amazing. I was wondering what that was.
They're playing together, climbing around.
Good.
So yeah, my thinking is that I'm probably like saying this as we travel back, if there's nothing else to say, is like if we find all of the locations where the children went missing and then made like some sort of connecting line between the ends, so that we like, I don't know if Cobalt Soul has like triangulate, but like we sort of go in near the middle of it, and then once we're in like that general area, if we don't have any other plans, we can do the locate object again a fair distance in, and then just keep walking. And I'll keep the locate object on as we head back too, because it's 10 minutes concentration.
Okay. Yeah, you don't sense anything as you head back.
Yeah. Would that it would be so easy.
Right. She went home actually while you were in the woods. She
Oh,
just
shit.
reappeared. Sorry, guys. I know you were looking forward to solving that one. But yeah, Kristoff like kind of hurries back to the house. He looks a little bit relieved that you guys have decided to leave the forest finally. But yeah, you return to the house. It's a little less empty than when you left. There are a couple more people here. You see a man in his early 30s. NPC list. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you see a man in his early 30s. Looks a lot like Hannelore. Again, it's a little uncanny. He and Hannelore clearly both take after their mother. He is now, he's like sitting on the ground, kind of playing with the 3-year-old girl. There's another woman sitting with Anya at the kitchen table. They're like, they have like some herbs, and they're kind of tying them into bundles. It's like the last herbs that they're going to dry or whatever. And she is in her like mid to late 20s maybe, and she is also visibly part elven. She has kind of like reddish brown hair, and she's fairly tall. But everyone, and yeah, Adelheid is still in there, Conrad's still in there. They're just kind of sitting somewhere else talking. But everybody looks up when you guys enter the house. We're back, says Kristoff. Conrad gets up from where he's sitting and hurries over, and he's kind of like, okay, everyone, this is, he's like taking it upon himself to introduce you to everyone. This is Adakora, Ophelia, and Antimony. They're from the Cobalt Soul. They're trying to find out what happened to Johanna and the other kids who went missing. This is, well, you know my mother, you know my sister Adelheid. This is my brother Arnulf and his wife Clara, and that's Liesel. She's their daughter. Everyone kind of looks like, none of this is like a surprise to them. Like they've probably been getting briefed on all this while you were gone, but they just kind of like say hello.
What was the older brother's name again?
I'll type it out. It's a fun one. Arnulf.
Arnulf.
Yeah. And then Clara. Liesel. Yeah, Anya stands up again and kind of comes over. She just looks a little like she has a lot of nervous energy. Did you find anything? Was it helpful?
I look at Ophelia, who has the shoelace.
I don't like being looked at. I don't like this. I'll hold it.
Kristoff is also
Hold
looking
it
at
up?
you, like expectantly.
We found her shoelace a little ways into the forest. I don't know if that's as far as you guys went.
I will say how far it was from the snare in minutes.
Okay.
It's like a 5-minute walk because that's how long the spell lasted, right?
Well, you were you were kind of walking like along the edge of the forest, not in for a while because he was showing you the traps. And then once you started going in, that was when she cast the spell. So it was like 10 minutes in, kind of.
Yeah.
Because you had that on for the 10 minutes, the channel divinity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was about 10 minutes in from like the rabbit snare area, which was a little ways in. Anya is like staring at the shoelace. She looks kind of stricken. Arnold stands up from the floor. He leaves Liesel just like playing there with some little wooden animals. And he stands up and comes over to look at it. It's hers.
I'll like make to hand it over.
To who? Just like whoever?
Yeah. Whoever comes close enough.
Okay. Yeah, Anya takes it. Just kind of stares at it for a second, and then she just starts crying.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Adahai gets up from the corner and like comes over and like leads her mom over to a chair. Like they like sits down with her and stuff, and everyone else is just kind of like not really saying anything.
No.
Arnold says kind of quietly, "How we went in a little farther than that. We got all the way to the deep forest. It's hard to travel in there. We went a ways in, but we lost the trail pretty quickly." We kept going a little bit. It didn't seem likely that we were going to find anything, but we didn't want to turn back. Eventually it got to the point where we might not have found our way back out again, so we had to turn around.
Hold on, I'm writing that down.
Okay. I can't believe we missed that.
It was very compressed in dirt or leaves or something. Did it kind of look like it might have been hidden, or did it just look like it fell?
It pretty much just looked like it had fallen along the side of the path, like under some bushes and things. Not necessarily, like there wasn't like a hole dug there. It wasn't buried deliberately or anything. It was just kind of covered by some plants.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was like pressed into the dirt a little bit. Like maybe someone had possibly stepped on it or something had like sat on top of it, but it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't like buried underground or anything.
I will go sit near Anya. And I will say, I'm sorry, and I know this seems grim, but if anything, it confirms for us that we're on the right track. And if these disappearances are linked to something magical, which seems likely, then there's every chance that the children can still be found. If it were an animal or something, that might not be the case.
She kind of her daughter has handed her like a handkerchief at this point, and she's kind of wiping her eyes, and she just nods. You're probably right. If it had been an animal, we would have found, I don't know,
More signs, more.
something worse. Well, I don't really know anything about magic, but
I don't want to offer false hope. I just want to say, don't give it up yet.
I haven't, which I know some of the other parents have. It's been so long. But maybe if they're all in the same place. I don't know. I hope you can find them.
So do I. If there's anything else you can think of that might be useful, you tell us. We're staying at the inn.
They all nod. There's only one inn.
Yeah.
Conrad works there.
I'd like to talk to some of the other families before it gets late. It's like before noon still, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we've got the afternoon.
Yeah, Arnulf, opens the door and comes and stands outside, and the woman who was sitting at the table, his wife Clara, also comes outside with him. And yeah, he just kind of says, I think you must be right. I've seen people get attacked by animals before, or rather, I've seen the aftermath, and we saw some of her footprints. It looked like she was just walking into the forest. I don't know why my sister would have done that. She's a very energetic, curious child, but she's not a fool. She would have just gone and checked the traps and come back. I'm sure of it. Anyway, good luck with this.
Thank you.
Clara says, was Conrad showing you around? Should we get him? You probably don't know where the other families live.
If he has time left.
No, I'm doing the fake German story and the real German story. Yeah, Arnold goes back inside and just kind of like, you just hear him like yell, Conrad, like, and Conrad comes outside. Yeah, I forgot you needed help finding things. Sorry. I've got some time. I don't have to be at work for a while.
Well, thank you. We appreciate helping us find our way.
No problem. He kind of talks to his brother and sister-in-law a little bit, and they go back inside. And you are alone outside again with Conrad. Is there anyone you want to talk to first?
Whose house is the closest?
Oh God, I didn't decide that.
Well, then we can just go in order.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, the
We can go to-
Emerlings live pretty close. That's the one. Their daughter's good friends with Johanna. One of their daughters. But that's Carl's family. They're not far. Just maybe 20 minutes down the road this way. He points and starts walking.
All right. We follow, I assume.
Yep.
Yes.
I would like to use the bathroom, though.
Okay. Shall take a break.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Back in a minute.
Okay.
um. Yep. As we're like traveling to the next team or whatever, would it like pondering, out loud as a character does who like totally has no meta knowledge of spell slots and whatever, uh would it uh would it be worth it for me to just like sit down somewhere and chill out while you guys question them? Because I feel like if I take time to recharge, I can be good at survival again. If we want to go back into the forest today.
Okay, do we want to do that?
Do we want to do that?
I want to tell the families maybe what they'll tell us will make me want to charge back out. I also want to talk to the Crown's Guard.
Yeah, because they should have been on watch, so you'd think that maybe someone would have seen something.
Crown's Guard and Hans. And I kind of want to ask around and see who else has children in that age range.
Well, yeah, I mean, not to use them as bait, but to, like, keep an eye on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it is definitely, like, actually crossed Anacora's mind, like, we could follow a child into the woods and see what happens, but he's not actually that callous.
Listen, I do have Disguise Self, and I can make myself a whole foot shorter with Disguise Self. So, if it comes down to it,
Be able to.
I could probably pretend to be a 10-year-old.
What if say we do want to charge back out there, I do want my channel divinity back. What if we like park me in one of those towers? We like befriend the Crown's Guard, park me in a tower. I have like, I see a lot of shit, so if I see a child running around near the forest, I can be like, oh shit, sound the alarm. Because I mean, like, who trusts these Crown's Guard? Really, they let four
No
other
one.
children go.
Yeah.
Do you mean like right now or later in the day?
Like
You
right
wanna
now,
hang
because
out
I
with the
need,
Crown's Guard then?
yeah, I need like an hour to sit and do nothing.
Okay. I mean, there's the closest one is the one like on the edge of the Meisner farm.
Mm-hmm.
So you could kind of go back to that one if you wanted to. Or you could try to find a different one, I guess, but
I don't know, does this seem like something that would be a good idea?
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't hurt.
And I 100% trust you to tell me all the information that you learn. And you better not fucking...
Does it seem like she 100% trusts me
Fuck no.
to tell her all the information that we learn?
I trust Antimony. I don't trust you.
Of course, there's no guarantee that anyone's going to go missing today. At a certain time, do you want to? Are you going to leave? Are we gonna come get you? Are you sleeping in a tower tonight? Do you
I
want
feel
us
like
to
that's a
join
little...
you?
I feel like that's a little far, but at the same time, it might be worth it just to chill out. Like, do I have an idea of how much of the, like, tree line I can see from that one tower?
I mean, it's pretty close to the tree line, so you can see pretty much as far as you can see in either direction.
That's probably pretty far.
So I mean, definitely more than you could see if you were farther back into town. town,
Mm-hmm.
or you might just not have as, like, you probably, depending on how far back you went, you just wouldn't be able to see, like, people on the tree line.
Right.
But from there, you could see, for a ways, potentially, if, as long as you were looking in the right direction when it
Mhm.
happened.
I feel like it might be worth it for me to just stay there for as long as until like you guys actually go out into the forest, because I can't see my services, like my charming self. I can't see myself being needed to talk to people.
You might think of good questions to ask. You're the one with the spells. Well, one of the ones with the spells. But
I can give you a running list of the things that I can do right now. They include finding objects, creating a big weapon, suggesting to people, and then they do stuff, casting sticks, preserving a dead body, and protecting from things like fiends and shit. And healing.
what if we get attacked?
You'll be in town, it'll be fine.
I'm the damage dealer in this party, let's be honest.
Yeah. and you have potions. So you're,
That's true.
What?
I guess what I'm wondering is, could you talk to the Crown's Guard, find out if we can keep a watch on one of the towers tonight, maybe? We could divide up a watch like we did on the road. We see anything, we can go after.
You would like me specifically to ask the Crown's Guard that.
Well, you're the one who was going to talk to the Crown's Guard.
Well, I was figuring, we would go all together and then you would talk to them and I wouldn't have to do anything. Except look.
Well, Conrad is showing us where the other...
I mean,
families-
okay, I guess I can ask them. What if they say no? Then what?
Then call us and we'll beat them up. I don't know. We'll just beat up.
Okay.
Was Ophelia just gonna go sit in a tower and not talk to anyone? Like, they
She
all
was
have
hoping
people in there.
Adakora would talk to people and then she could just ignore them.
Oh, then she could just sit there for an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
But I can, yeah. They would probably let me. Like, it's not an unreasonable question, right?
You're from the Cobalt Soul. They have no reason to say you can't sit in a tower.
I mean, it's their tower, though. If they want to say no, they can just be like, fuck off.
Well, then catch up with us and we'll try again, or we'll go to a different tower.
Okay.
A nicer one.
Planning to talk to the Watchmaster anyway,
That's
but
true.
probably after we've talked around the houses here.
Okay. I
All
will
the way
go
back to
see.
town.
I'll go see, and then if all else fails, I'll just, like, sit outside the tower and watch.
What tower are you going to?
The one that we passed nearby?
Okay.
The one by the forest. And by the Hannelora family.
Mm-hmm.
So our plan is to meet you back here, back there, when we're done talking around?
Yes. And then I don't know, I think there's probably like a bell or something up there that I can hit if a child suddenly wanders towards the tree line. I don't know. Maybe.
Do you have anything that makes a big noise? In case there isn't?
I can shine a light that sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius. I can like flash that a couple of times, but that's more for darkness. I can ring a bell loudly that hurts someone if they're too close.
Do other people hear it if you ring it?
I don't know, did you guys hear it when I did it before? Does Toll the
Do
Dead
people
make
who are not
noises?
getting attacked by Toll the Dead hear Toll the Dead?
I don't know. It definitely doesn't. The sound doesn't travel long distances or anything. Like, it's not super loud. Because if it was, it would say so on the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are a couple of spells that are like everybody within 300 feet hears this spell or whatever because it's really fucking loud.
If,
Toll
yeah,
the Dead is not one of them.
yeah. If all else fails, there's gonna be Crownsguard there that I can ask to tail the child, or I can tail the child and they can go run and try to find you.
Well, okay. Hopefully we'll be back before dark. Although the kids didn't go missing at night, so that doesn't necessarily mean
Yep.
anything.
That's true.
So I think it's just better to have an eye on things regardless. Generally. I mean, how fucked up would that be if, like, a kid went missing and the Cobalt Soul was here already? Like, what the fuck?
That's true, yeah.
That
To
wouldn't
be
be...
fair, I don't know how much reputation we have here to ruin, but I'd prefer that nobody else go missing on our watch.
Yeah. Or at all. I say looking at our companion.
Yeah, are you guys talking about this out loud?
Yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah,
Conrad's just kind of like
having this conversation, yeah.
Conrad's just chilling, like kind of looking back and forth between whoever's talking. He has his hands in his pockets. He's just like, okay.
Conrad and Antimony are just like off to the side, like, well.
Well, and, yeah,
This would be
Jimmy's
the
like,
perfect
they do
time
this
for you
all
to
the time.
romance Conrad, Anthony.
Well, that would be very stressful for you, wouldn't it?
It would, but Anna would thrive on it.
So, I'll just go and see if I can chill out in their tower. And I'll suffer the whole time.
I guess we are splitting up.
Oh my god, you're splitting the party.
Mhm.
There's only 3 of us.
I know.
What can possibly happen between here and now? Here and then. Now and then.
I don't know. The guard tower burns down.
Well, that would just suck. Alright. I split up.
All right. Yeah, it's not that far. You head back towards. You guys were still like pretty much just outside the house. You can just kind of circle around the fields, or like go. There's a little path through them that you can go on, and then you can climb over the fence.
Mhm.
And the tower's a little. It's like a ways down from the farmhouse, but not super far. Maybe like 300 feet away. So you get there pretty quickly. Yeah, and it's just like a big, sturdy, wooden tower. There's a little watch post on the top. You can't really see into it. It's got like a roof that kind of the roof like comes down over the windows a little bit, to block out rain or anything like that. And there's a Crownsguard banner hanging on the forest-facing side of the tower.
Cool. Great. This is fine. Is there like a door or something that I can knock on? Are there like
yeah,
people that I can see?
You can't really see who's up there right now. You could see them from a distance when you went into the forest and you saw two people up there. But
Right.
from where you are right now, you can't really see anything. Like, you can't see into the windows necessarily from where you are. There is a little door that looks like it leads into the tower at the base, which I guess you could knock on it if you wanted to.
I will knock. And if nobody responds, I'll like call hello, like generally up there. Because I imagine, like, how tall is this tower?
It's not super tall. It's maybe, I don't know, 20 feet tall.
Yeah, so I'll just be like, hello?
Who's down there? It's a very sort of like stern voice.
Oh my god, I hate this. Oh fuck. Jesus Christ. Oh shit. Jesus. This is all like internal monologue. Member, well, a member of the Cobalt Soul. I have a request of you.
Well, what do you want? Says the same voice.
Can I like see the person?
No, you can't.
If I like back up a little bit, can I see the person?
Yeah, you see kind of squinting down at you is a youngish human man. He's like in his mid-20s maybe. And he has curly dark hair, kind of olive skin, and he's like scowling at you. He's in a Crown's Guard uniform.
Man, he's gonna say no. This guy sucks. We've come here to investigate the missing children. Two other members of my party have gone in to continue talking to the missing family, seeing what they can figure out. Would it be possible for me to sit in your tower and watch the tree line as they do this? Please.
He continues to scowl. No one is authorized to be up here except for Crown's Guard. And then you hear someone else someone else that you can't see calls from behind him. 9 hells, Pavel. Give it a rest. And Pavel disappears. He turns around and like kind of walks back in, and you hear like some low conversation that you can't quite make out. And then you hear like noise coming from inside of the tower. The sort of like the covered wooden part that's like basically the walls are all covered by wood, and then there's like a sort of room at the top, but you can't really see what's inside the part that's under the room. And then a door opens, and the little door that you were knocking on opens, and someone sticks their head out. You see a female half-orc wearing the same uniform. She's maybe in her early 30s. She's like a little too tall for this door. She kind of has to duck underneath it. You're from a Cobalt Soul?
I
She
like,
like looks you up and down.
yeah, I like hopefully hop over. Yeah, we, three of us are here for, after hearing the rumors, we wanted to see what we could do to help. We're thinking of going into the forest, but we'd like more information first, and in the meantime, we think that it's possible that a child will go into the forest, as it's been about a weekly pattern. I don't know if you guys have been here for that.
She, her face gets kind of grim, and she nods. Alright, I think you better, why don't you better come in. And she ducks back under the door.
Thank you. I'll
Yeah,
go in. Yay.
sorry.
Yeah,
You
I'll
go
go.
into the room, the middle, or like the sort of base of this tower is just it's just like a hollow wooden structure with, kind of support beams and things. But there's a ladder in the middle, and you see the woman climbing up, like up through to a hole that leads into like the main top of the tower.
I will follow. Probably once she's done climbing. Cuz I don't want to be like awkward, you know? I'm a
Okay.
cool person who isn't stressed out by social situations. I'm perfectly
Okay, yeah,
fine.
she disappears up into the tower.
Okay. I'll follow. And if I see the guy coming, like when I'm coming up, I'll like be on the opposite side.
Okay. Yeah, he's leaning against one of the inner walls and like has his arms crossed, and he's not looking at you guys. He's like looking out at the forest kind of stubbornly.
To the half orc, I'll be like, thank you. So you guys have been here for that time, or at least you have?
Yeah, we've been here for, well, I've been here for close to a year. Pablo here has only been here for around 6 months, but definitely long enough for all this.
A whole year. Is that like, is it exciting to be here, or are you just like bored all the time?
It is not very exciting. I mean, we're mostly here to deter bandits and things like that, but the problem is this place has been so well guarded for so long that the bandits don't even bother to try. I mean,
Right.
not that that's a problem. Obviously, we don't want this place to get attacked, but there's not much to do around here.
Right.
It's a
Are
lot
there,
of,
yeah.
a lot of guarding shipments of food back and forth to the capital, and rotating around the various towers, and sometimes patrolling the borders of the farms.
Have you guys possibly seen anything related to this?
Pavel looks back at her, and he looks a little worried now. She goes over to, so there's like a little, there's windows on every side of this tower on the top that are like partially covered by the extended parts of the roof, but they can look out through in every direction pretty much, and there's railings all the way around it. She goes and leans against one of the railings. Did you talk to the family that lives on this farm right here? And she kind of points over at the Meisner house.
Yeah, we I don't know if you saw us earlier. I guess you must have, because you were watching. Generally, I don't know what you were watching, but we went into the forest. We found the girl's shoelace a pretty decent distance in. But that wouldn't compare, obviously, to what you guys might have seen on the day. Or I guess it would. I don't know. Did you see anything?
I mean, she looks, before she was kind of like smiling at you a little bit, like seemed sort of cheerful and like had like, you know, an easy manner or whatever. Like she just like talked easily and stuff. But she kind of closes up a little bit. Yes. Well, we saw her go into the forest. That was it, really. Didn't see her come back out.
Did it strike you at the time as it being odd? Did you see her I mean, obviously it's not like your fault that she disappeared, even though you were watching and you saw it, but
she snorts. She looks kind of like she doesn't believe you.
I mean, like, the best you can do is just, like, you know, do better. God, I suck.
Paul is like, he's like still staring out at the forest, but he like keeps looking back at you two, like nervously.
Did you see her from the time that she was visible to you until the time that she was not? Like, I guess what I'm asking is was there any shift in her attitude or her behavior as she was going in? Was it like she just beelined straight to the forest?
I mean, it was a ways down. I could see her. She came out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
She points at the farmhouse, which is like 300 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
I know what pretty much everyone who lives around here looks like from a distance at this point. Is obviously the little girl.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't see her face or anything, but she just walked into the forest.
And did she...
She wasn't in a hurry, necessarily. People go in there all the time. This is really This is new.
Did she look behind her ever at all?
What?
Like, did she... Sometimes people, when they do something they're not supposed to, for example, she was supposed to go in with her brother?
Mm-hmm.
They, like, look behind them to, like, kind of shiftily. Did you see any of that, or was she just, like, moving along?
Seemed like she just walked right in.
Hmm.
Should've- We should have fucking gone in after her.
I mean, what's done is done. It's obviously it sucks, but I doubt it's something that you were looking for, right? I mean, 3 people isn't necessarily a pattern. And people go in all the time, right?
Yeah, but at that point, by then, pretty much all the locals were keeping their children pretty close. People were definitely worried about it.
Well, yeah. Is it like, I mean, yeah, not, I don't, you know what, never mind, yeah. Have you heard any weird noises at night, like, different, like, sometimes if you see kobolds, like, around, they make noises, sometimes wolves howl. Are there any, like, noises that you couldn't quite explain coming from the forest recently?
I'm not here at night.
Are you here at night? I'll ask the other guy.
He shakes his head. No, we're on the day shift. There's different people here at night. They haven't said anything.
Right.
We're supposed to report anything unusual, and they haven't.
Okay. And you would have reported anything unusual that day too, minus, like, the missing child. Like if the air felt different, or if the wind was really weird, or if, like, crows burst up from the forest.
I mean, I don't know how weird the wind could possibly be that I would need to report it.
That's true. Does that satisfy the metagaming pigeon?
No.
I don't think these people are good at their jobs.
I just try to think, like, what could have kickstarted this? Like, did somebody not sacrifice to the right gods or something? But I don't know how to ask that. Besides, did you do anything you don't normally do, or not do anything you normally do, or I don't know.
Is there... It's sort of a broad category. Is there any other information you have that would potentially help us in our investigation?
We didn't see or hear anything unusual. She didn't. I mean, she didn't scream or anything. There wasn't animal noises or anything awful. Just sort of the normal forest sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was didn't make much of a ruckus.
One more thing. So I'm assuming it was pretty soon after her disappearance that other people started running in to go look for her, right? I don't know how long it was, like an hour? 30
Couple
minutes?
of hours.
Couple of hours? Did you see those people go in?
Well, I saw. Well, no, Pavel, you saw one of the other ones, the teenager, right? Pavel like grudgingly nods.
The teenager being Kristoff?
Yeah, Kristoff.
Right. And I'm assuming he went in for like 5-10 minutes, went out, and then more people came?
He ran in.
Right.
Like he was. At that point, I mean, we can't watch every inch of the forest all the time. I think I was just hoping that she'd come back out and I hadn't noticed.
Right.
But then he went in and, well... And then maybe an hour later, everyone else showed up.
Everyone else being like about 3-ish people? No, there were others who helped.
Well, I could see the family milling around outside. I think only 3 of them went in.
Only 3 people total?
The second time, yes.
And then did they all come out together?
They did.
Were those all from the family, or were there also people from town that were helping?
I think it was just the family. Dietrich, he's one of the parents,
Mm-hmm.
and then the oldest son, Arnulf, and then one of the girls, Ingrid. They were gone for maybe... It was a long time. I started to get worried about them, too. It was maybe an hour and a half.
Okay. And then, have you noticed, I don't know how frequently you're on this particular tower. Have you been here multiple times since the disappearance?
Every day.
Okay, so you switch more on like a long-term basis.
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen, I guess not necessarily these 3, but have you seen anybody, including those 3, go into the forest for a longer time than usual?
I don't think so. Saw Kristoff went in and out a few times, but not for very long. Probably just setting his traps.
Right.
Other people from town to gather firewood and things. They're not going in as often as they used to, though.
Is there anyone who
I
is going in?
understand.
Yeah. Is there anyone who has kept up going regularly?
Some of them. Kristoff, mainly. People from the other farms
Right.
along this edge.
I mean, I guess you guys are Crown's Guard, so it wouldn't hurt to just be plain. Like, sometimes if people are messing with other people and have kidnapped them, they'll go to where they're kept frequently just to check up on them if they are still alive. Is there anybody who could fit that profile.
Odds, I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think there's anybody from town.
I'm just trying to like cross out whatever possibilities there are, you know? So, I don't
Sure.
know. Just like keep it in mind, and it is okay if I stay here for today.
Sure, if you really want to, I guess.
I'll just help you guys keep a watch on the forest and whatnot. Um, See if I can also see anything. An extra pair of eyes never hurts, right?
Suppose not.
I will do that then.
There were a few Crown's Guard who went in to look after the family. At that point, by the time they all got back, I sent Pavel back to town to get a message to the Watchmaster. We're never supposed to both leave this place at once. Honestly, we're supposed to leave as little as possible.
Right.
Not unless there's an emergency. Seemed like an emergency by then.
Right.
Anyway, yes, they sent a patrol in, but they didn't find anything that her family hadn't already found. They went a little farther into the woods, but they're not any better at navigating forests than these farmers.
Right. Okay, one more thing and then I'll just watch shit. Do you think this is generally the same amount of information that the Watchmaster might have? I know my friends were going to go there to also glean what they could.
I mean, it's possible he knows something else. It's not like he shares everything with us, but I don't know. It seems strange to think he would hide anything in a case like this.
Okay. Thanks for your information, your time, and also your tower.
She laughs a little. You're welcome. What's your name?
Ophelia.
And you're from the Cobalt Soul?
Yeah. There's also Antimony and Adacora. In the event that they come by and I'm not here.
They were the two that were with you?
Yes.
So what do you do? Are you one of those monks?
I am a cleric, actually. I deal more
Cleric?
with, more with, like, keeping, I guess, the library more intact. But I'm not really an archivist. It's kind of weird.
Well, it sounds like you're investigating doing a little bit of mystery solving
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah, recently it's been more of that. So, if you're ever looking for, like, a better job, this is also very exciting and possibly accomplishes more, depending on if we find the children or not, which I'm pretty sure. I'm hopeful. I think we'll find them.
Certainly hope you do.
Yeah.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, I imagine we keep up the small talk and I get a short rest. Woo! And
Yeah, you can have a short rest.
yeah. And I watch that tree line.
Yeah, you don't really see anything as you are watching for the next hour or so.
That's good.
Yeah, these two are. It's hard to tell if they like actually hate each other or if they're just like kind of. They have like sort of a tense relationship. Like the half orc woman who introduces herself to you at some point. She's like, "Oh, wow, I never even told you my name. I'm Afsoon. This is Pavel."
Good. Nice to meet you.
But yeah, they kind of. It's not even that they bicker, but like Afsoon kind of pokes fun at him, and he is like very grumpy about it. Like, he seems a little uptight.
It seems like he wants to be a serious, like, prove himself Crownsguard. Maybe he wants to move up in the world.
Yeah. Maybe he does.
Oh, maybe he should have caught some children before they ran into the forest. I don't know. Maybe he should have been better at his job.
Okay. I don't know how much longer I want to keep going. It's getting kind of late.
Valid.
Just gonna go to 3 more houses and ask the same questions. We asked Laura's family and get the same information, except maybe something interesting about the dog.
Oh yeah, there's the thing with the dog. That's true.
The thing with the dog. We want to talk to Hans.
That's true.
Hans and the dog are the wild cards, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's the weird one, is that there was also a dog that went missing and did not return. So whatever this thing is also likes dogs? Question mark? We don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I would also take a dog if if I were stealing things from a town.
Maybe it's like that.
Children, dogs.
If you were like a lonely hag who lived in the woods and you decided to start kidnapping children to keep you company, you'd probably also take a dog.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet you would. Okay, let's do one more family. How about you can go see what the Emerlings have to say, and then I think we will end.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yes.
Yeah,
as we're walking,
Mhm.
I'm like ribbing Antimony about, brother sister crime solving duo,
Hell yeah.
Oh God,
like a
Okay.
nerd.
I love it.
this feels like I feel like you're referencing one of our father's books or something. He's kind of like written a detective story, right? Like,
I think we said he went through a detective phase, right? Like that was
Yeah.
in the conversation, I believe. That was like his earlier work, maybe.
Ooh, yeah,
his
okay.
earliest work. Yeah.
Back when he was living in Bisayas Teal.
When you could just write off his weirdness enough to.
Right, yeah. And then he was like,
To snag my mom.
I
Yeah,
might branch out.
terrible.
I can't wait to meet him.
I'm very excited for Taito.
I'm so excited for Taito. God, that is gonna be fun. I'm excited for that. Okay. So you walk along for a while. Conrad is just kind of kind of seems amused by you guys. Like this is a man who has a lot of siblings.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, mood. Looking at the wrong page of notes. What a mess. Okay, but yeah, he eventually you reach. You walk for like 20 minutes and you reach another house, which looks, similar to a lot of the houses around here. It's a little bit smaller than the Meisner house. It doesn't look like it has like additions added onto it. But like the general layout is fairly similar. Conrad goes up and knocks on the door again. And the door opens and you see a girl. She's maybe 12. She has dark curly hair and kind of a narrow face. And she looks up at him. Oh, Conrad, what are you doing here? Hi, are your parents home, Frida? Mom, Dad, there's some people here.
This is Carl's family's house.
This is Carl's family, yeah. Yeah, and you see a human man and a woman. They're like in their early or mid 30s, probably. Kind of appear in the doorway. Hello, Conrad, says the man. What's going on? Conrad's like a little. He like goes back into awkward mode, kind of. He's like, these people are from the Cobalt Soul in Rexentrum. They're trying to find out what happened to the missing children.
Conrad was so kind as to offer to introduce us to the families so we could ask some questions. Would you be willing to do that? Answer them, I mean.
Yeah, they kind of look at each other a little bit surprised. There's just sort of like a look that passes between them.
It's the what are these city folk doing here? Why are they interested in us? The fair question.
The girl is kind of standing a little ways back, but she's still like got her head kind of. She's still like craning her neck to look at you guys. And The man kind of turns back and says, suppose I suppose you can come in."
Thank you.
They lead you inside. It's a pretty similar house. There's a fire. There's a table. There's another girl. Um, who is just kind of sitting on like a little woven rug. She has like a stick sword, but it's like pretty decently made. Like someone took a stick and like carved parts of it, and it has like a little hilt like tied. Um, and she's just kind of messing with it. She's like tying some. There's like the hilt is just like another stick like tied onto like perpendicular to that stick, and she's like fussing with the ties and like redoing the knots and stuff. She looks up as you guys come in. She's a little younger. She's maybe like 10.
Oh no, a 10-year-old.
A 10-year-old and a 12-year-old.
No, a 10-year-old and a
They're
12-year-old.
gonna lose all their kids.
Yeah. But they sit down and they motion for you guys to sit down as well.
Sorry, I'm getting water.
I figured you were.
It's the pouring tea sound effect.
Yep. Yeah, you were offered some like bread and cheese or something.
Oh. I'll take some bread and cheese, thank you.
We had some tea, but we haven't actually had like lunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
Both of the girls,
We go around and we mooch off all these people who lost their children, and
the girls also like grab some food and they kind of stand around the table like they're both watching this very intently. And at some point, their mother turns around and says, "Girls, go back to your room, all right?" The younger girl is like, "Oh, Mom, I want to know what's going on." "Go back to your room." "Fine," and she stomps off. The older girl follows her. She kind of looks back. She looks a little calculating, like maybe she's plotting something. But they both disappear into another room.
I asked basically the same question I asked Anya. Walk me through what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
also asked their names. I haven't asked their names. I'm so
okay. Yeah, their names are Marta and Oscar. Emmerling is the family. Yeah, they're human.
Yes.
They seem a little. They're definitely like less. They're a little more suspicious than Anya appeared to be. But they do answer all your questions and they kind of confer over them. They like bicker about the details a little bit. Like they clearly remember some things slightly differently, but it was over a month ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, they kind of the story that they give you is pretty similar to what Conrad had told you. They were like in the middle of bringing in the harvest. Their son Carl went to help a neighbor with something, and they just kind of thought he was there for the duration. and they figured, he would come back home when he was done. And then he did not come back home. Everyone like went to have dinner, and there was no Carl, and they went to the neighbor's house, and the neighbor said that he had left like a few hours after he went to help them. Like they finished their thing, and then he left. So nobody had really. There was like a space of an hour or two where nobody had apparently seen Carl.
Mhm.
If I recall correctly from what Conrad told us, Carl is like the only person who didn't have like a reason, quote unquote, to be in the forest that anyone knows of.
Yep. Yeah, and no one is quite sure exactly when he went in either, because there's this sort of window of time where he was unaccounted for before anyone even noticed that he was missing.
I asked the same question about any distinctive or special objects he might have had with him, or been like clothes he might have been wearing. It's been a while, but I explained that we have a cleric with us who can locate objects, because now that I've sort of seen that in action,
Right. Now you know what it does.
yeah.
Yeah, Oscar thinks about it for a second. Well, he was wearing an old jacket that used to be mine. It was dark green, and it had wooden buttons. The cuffs and down the front.
It's not that I didn't trust Ophelia. I just don't understand how it works.
The guards do not offer you any snacks.
I do not have any spells.
How does magic work?
When I asked how it worked, you were like, it's how I found my holy symbol. Well, your holy symbol is on you all the time. Anyway.
Why is this so... They're bickering even when they're not in the same scene.
It's because Julie just likes to be mean to me. This is not about Adecora and Ophelia.
Yeah.
Does it seem like there's anything else the Emmerlings that might be hiding, but like just might be holding back because they don't trust us?
Okay, wait, what's Antimony, what's your passive perception?
Let's see, what is my passive perception? My passive perception is a 13.
Okay, so you and Adecor are facing towards the door that the girls went into.
Mm-hmm.
The parents are facing away. And you, Adecor, you don't notice this. You're like too busy talking to the parents. But
busy having shit perception.
And that. Antimony, you notice the door like open completely silently. And you see I know, I was like, Ophelia sees this, and then I was like, Ophelia's not here. Yeah, but you see the older girl kind of poke her head out of the door. She's clearly listening.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the younger girl, like she kind of pokes her sister, And Frida, the older girl's named Frida. You didn't get the younger girl's name, but she, the younger girl, like crawls um, through the door. Like Frida opens it a little more, and the younger girl crawls out and then like tiptoes out of the back of the house.
Huh.
But Frida seems unconcerned by this. She closes the door so it's like only open like a crack, and she continues to listen and watch the conversation.
Hmm. A little alarmed.
Did the child just leave? You see the conversation keeps going for a little while. They don't seem to be. Well, why don't you make an insight check, Adakora?
Okay.
I know you love doing this.
I make so many of them.
I know you're
I
always
rolled more insight than anything else, and
you're always
I don't-
asking me what people feel like, and I'm like, well,
Okay, 17 again.
yeah, you don't get the sense that they're holding anything back, like information wise. It does kind of seem like there are things they're not saying because they don't know you and like you're a guest, but not so much that they're like withholding information about the circumstances. It's more like they don't think that what you're doing is like necessarily useful, but they're like too polite to tell you.
Right.
Like they're kind of like, is this really gonna?
Yeah, it's been 5 weeks.
Yeah,
This is
they
not
don't
really
seem
shocking to me.
very like convinced that you guys can do anything to help.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time prying at this because this is just my perspective, and maybe Tim is like, no, leave no stone unturned. But I feel like because this Carl's disappearance was farther back, there's not really that much we're going to be able to learn about it at this point.
The trail's gone cold.
Yeah.
And I still like I want to talk to all the families, but I think our best bet is probably at a certain point we're just gonna have to go into the forest and find what we find, you know?
I think we should talk to Hans, the other child who didn't go missing.
I have a to-do list, which is talk to the other 2 families, talk to Hans, talk to the Watchmaster.
And then also, I'd like to, after we leave here, I'd like to try and follow this child who just left the house.
Yeah, I want to too, but I didn't see that happen.
Yeah,
I wrap up politely with this family because I don't really want to. I'm getting the sense that they feel like we're wasting their time, and I don't want to waste their time. I'm not a very good detective.
Conrad is like sitting there silently this whole time, just like eating some bread and cheese. He looks very awkward.
He's a good sport.
He's being
he
a very
doesn't
good
have
sport.
to come with us to every house on the list before his job, but
but yeah, if you guys you know, excuse yourselves. They kind of they'll like stand up and, you know, escort you to the door. They're like still being polite and stuff. As you're leaving, you see Frida come out of her room, and she doesn't say anything. She just like closes the door, and then she uh, also goes outside the back, and her mom's like, "Where are you going?" And it's like, I'm going to grab like something, she like something some normal outdoor chore. It's like, I'm just going to the yard. Um, but yeah, she leaves.
Uh-huh.
I look at
And
Tim.
what are these girls doing?
Right. I think after we leave, I'm going to mention the younger girl who slipped up during the conversation.
You're really breaking up.
Yeah, I can't hear you very well.
Uh, is this any better?
Yeah.
Okay. After we leave, I would like to mention the younger girl who slipped out of the house.
Mm. Okay, yeah, so you're kind of walking. Conrad's like leading you to wherever, maybe kind of heading back towards the center of town at this point, because you're on like the very edge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you walk a little ways away from the house, and you tell Adakora this.
Mhm.
What's your reaction? I'm gonna let you guys have this little conversation real quick, but
Really? Huh. I look around. I look back at the house. Do we see the younger girl? Or Frida, for that matter, lingering outside?
yeah, you see Frida. She's just kind of walking towards you guys. And then as you if you like kind of stop, you're right next to a tree that is um up against like the kind of up against the road. It's just like a tree in
Mhm.
their yard. Um, and then you hear someone whispering,
Oh.
"Hello."
What?
Uh,
What is-
Hello?
it's coming from above you
I look
slightly.
up.
Yeah, you see the younger girl up in the tree, looking down at you like totally. She's like grinning. Her eyes are huge.
You're a good climber.
This tree's not hard to climb.
No, what's your dex? I want to compare decks.
You guys are going after my brother, right?
That's the plan, yeah.
And
Are
Johanna?
you Johanna's friend?
Yes.
What's your name?
Hermina.
Armina?
Yeah, sorry. um,
I'm Adakora. This is Antimony.
hi.
It's
I
Frida.
wave.
Frida's like walking. Doesn't look like she's in a hurry. Her arms are crossed. Like she kind of she looks like she's knows what's going on. She's like looking up into the tree. But she's just kind of slowly, like leisurely walking across the yard towards you
I
guys.
don't want to get anybody's attention.
Mm-mm.
We planned this.
But yeah, Hermina is like going into the forest, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, not right away, but soon.
Okay, when you go, will you bring me with you?
Why do you want to go?
I want to find Carl. I know I can find him.
How? How would you find him?
I'll just go and I'll look everywhere until I find him. I have a sling. I'm really good.
I bet you are.
I can hit rabbits and squirrels with it.
The problem is, it's probably something a little bigger than a rabbit or a squirrel.
That's even easier to hit.
Hard to fault that logic.
I want to find Carl. I want to find my friend.
We want to find him too.
Mom and Dad won't even let me leave the house.
There's a good reason for that.
Frida has sort of made it over here by now, and she looks up. You better come inside soon. They're gonna figure out you're out here.
Before you go, I think there is a way you guys might be able to help us, but I think it's a better way than going into the forest with us. Can you guys think of anything that would have brought Carl into the forest? Anything that happened before he disappeared that was different or unusual?
We both think about it for a second. Hermina like kind of shrugs and shakes her head. Frida looks. She like crosses her arms even more and kind of scowls. She's like, I mean, okay, sometimes he goes. He used to go in the forest when he was upset about something. He would just, you know, go and climb a tree and sit up there for an hour. And then when he felt better, he would come back. We had a fight.
I see.
He was mad at me. That's why he wanted to go help the neighbors.
What? You don't have to tell me this. But Tim and I are no strangers to fights. Was it about something in particular?
Well, she looks a little embarrassed, but like also stubborn. Told him about my plan to go to the capital and study magic, and he told me it was stupid.
Oh no. This is hitting too close to home.
He likes it out here, but I'm bored. I want to learn something interesting.
Well, okay.
We're twins. We fight a lot.
I'm not saying anything directly to that because I feel like Tim probably is going to say something. Seems like the kind of thing she'd have words about.
Yeah. Hmm.
I know they take
Okay.
kids from here sometimes. It's happened before. I'm smart.
Oh no.
Just because Carl doesn't like books. she's just kind of like talking to herself at this point a little bit. Hermina's like rolling her eyes up in the tree, like we've had this discussion already.
Okay. Antoni's gonna kind of. She kind of thinks about that for a sec. And is like, okay, how about this? We're gonna go into the forest and we're gonna see if we can find your brother and the other kids. And when I come back, how about I teach you something? I can do a little magic.
You can?
Sure. Yeah.
Like what?
Let me see. Well, what do you want to know?
Capital.
I don't know everything. I know you could speak any language with magic and read anything and see things that are far away anywhere.
Oh God, that's so true. I don't know if they would be interested in the crab.
It's not magic, but it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Gosh, I'm gonna burn a spell slot.
Do you have cantrips? I don't know. Do artificers have cantrips?
Just to entertain some children. I do have cantrips, but my cantrips are firebolt and mending, which are kind of like
That's a rough one. Yeah.
I don't want to throw a firebolt at these children.
Right, yeah. In the middle of the road next to their house.
Yeah, so I think what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna burn a spell slot just to entertain some local kids.
Fuck yes.
I kind of like rummage around in my bag and pull out sort of some like a couple of my things and I'm gonna kind of I feel like Antony carries around some kind of magical glitter or something for a glitter bomb.
Yes. Absolutely.
And she's just gonna kind of blow it into the air and cast fairy fire. So in this like 20-foot cube or whatever, we're just gonna outline everything in, let's say, a gentle violet light.
The girls are both like speechless. They're just kind of staring at it. And you hear Hermina up in the tree say, "That's so cool." And Frida's just like looking at her glowing arms, like with really big eyes, like, wow.
So I don't know if it's a good idea for you guys to go to the forest.
No, we're not going into the forest, says Frida.
But when I get back, maybe I can show you some things.
Okay. Hermina climbs down out of the tree. Okay, I guess. Frida like grabs her hand. It's like, okay, we're going back in the house. I'm supposed to keep you from leaving the house. Come on, I don't want to get in trouble. And she kind of drags her sister back. But they both wave at you guys as they leave.
I wave at them back at least.
I will also wave.
I have two
Okay.
proteges now.
You do.
Yeah. You have a magic protege and an adventuring protege.
Yes.
Oh god. Oh god. Yup. Oh man. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it there. It's
All
late.
right.
A wholesome note to end on. Yeah.